And we are live. Welcome to Virtually Connecting. I'm Alan Levine, and I'm pulling my headphones out. Coming to you from my home in Strawberry, Arizona, where the time is unmentionable. We're really excited to be talking to some folks at the digital, I'm forgetting the name already, DigPed, that's all I know, from PEI, and we have about half an hour with them. And so I want to get things going, and I'm going to ask people to introduce themselves. I want you, when you tell us who you are, virtual people, obviously who you are, where you're from, and I want you to take your best guess as to how far away you are from Prince Edward Island. So I'm going to think I'm about 2,500 miles, and no looking it up either. And next, I'm going to pass it over. Carol and I had this great moment because we went to the same high school in Baltimore. So Carol.
Hi, I'm Carol Yeager. I am in Catskill, New York. I'm about a 13-hour drive, which I had originally planned on doing to get to Prince Edward Island because I was registered to be there in person. But a medical meteor hit me, and it is potentially very contagious, so I decided, not so much. And I had a little bit of surgery on Saturday, and I needed to recoup from that. So I'm just thrilled to be learning from everybody. I'm a newbie in life.
I don't know. Karen and I had a great conversation. She's done a lot. She's got great experience. Next over to Donna, who I'm excited to meet for the first time.
Oh, how nice. Hi, I'm Donna Longclough. I am in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I'm awful with geography because I went to school in the 80s in California. But I'm willing to bet that it's
what does that mean?
I don't know. Public schools. What are you going to do?
In California.
Yeah.
You're a librarian. You're supposed to know everything.
I'm not a librarian. Okay, this is an important thing. I'm not a librarian.
You work in the library.
I work in the library, right? And the people who I work with who are actual librarians would be very distressed to hear you call me one because I don't actually have that credential. So anyway, it's lovely to be here.
That's true. Thank you. And next, Maha.
I am Maha Bali from Cairo, Egypt. I'm in my office for once. Usually I'm at home.
Wow.
I'm the co-founder of Virtually Connecting, and I do all kinds of things with Digital Pedagogy Lab. Hi, Susan. And how far am I from PEI? I thought the cleverest answer would just say 5-hour time zone difference, because I don't know how far away I am.
That's perfectly precise. And then Mark McGuire from New Zealand.
You said it, yes. Dunedin, New Zealand, where it's not a horrible hour. It's about 11 p.m. I've got an American or a Canadian accent. I've moved here from Toronto 23 years ago, but I'm currently in Dunedin, New Zealand, where I teach design at the University of Otago.
We got quite a map going here. And next, Patrice.
Hi, I'm Patrice Prusco, and I'm in Ithaca, New York, so I'm guessing I'm roughly the same as Carol, probably 13 or so hours away. And I wish that I was also at DigiPed, but my youngest daughter is leaving for college in a few weeks, and I'm trying to soak up every last minute I can before she heads to the other side of the country. So I'm happy to be joining you virtually.
Great. And then Wendy.
Hi, everyone. I'm Wendy Tallio from Central Australia.
Hi.
Hello. It's about 8 o'clock at night here, and I've been to PEI, and I'm guessing it's probably 2 long-haul flights and a shorter one. That's about as good as I can get.
All right, and then we'll go over to our site at PEI, and who do we have there, Autumn?
Hi, I'm Autumn Keynes, on-site co-buddying with Susan Adams, and we've got our our on-site guests who I'll let introduce themselves. Lawrie.
So I'm Lawrie Phipps. I'm from England, who don't appear to be in the room. We're about 25 years ahead of PEI.
Oh, wow.
Did you guys vote to leave the room?
And then
I'm Cindy Jennings. I'm from South Carolina.
we've been talking for about how long?
Years.
Years, and this is and now we're in the room together.
Yay! Is this the first time you guys have met?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fun.
That's really exciting, and Cindy's the reason I would get up at 4 a.m. to do this because because she's so cool and I haven't seen her for a long time. So we have probably
I told her I had to actually go show her what you said on Slack.
You just never know what people are saying.
So we started this conversation completely off the rails, but the idea is it's been the first day at PEI, and some of us probably tuned into Audrey's talk or or maybe followed on Twitter. But what was the first day like, folks? Anybody want to chime in and give the rest of us a sense about what's going on there?
Well, of course, there were many, many fangirl moments for me of people who are like in the room who I've never been in the room with before, and other people who I only occasionally get to be in the room with. So there was a whole lot of that, a whole lot of, wow, am I really here doing this? A lot of really good conversations. I tweeted yesterday, it's the first time I've been in a conference in a long time that I wasn't watching my watch all day, wondering when the next coffee break was going to be. I did leave yesterday afternoon, though, wondering, and I'll plant this sort of less than positive seed and then back away. I am concerned about people who are new to the community, who are new to this work. Some people I had conversations with last night who sort of got the Audrey bomb dropped on them yesterday afternoon after a really uplifting sessions, and then we walked away from them to do with that what they could overnight. So I'm hoping that we have some debrief today to help those new folk make some sense of what they heard. I know from a couple of people it was a little disconcerting.
So Cindy, would you recommend that in future there is some time after the keynote to go back to your track and do that debrief immediately so that people don't have to
Yes.
or whatever?
Yes.
Okay. That's probably a good idea. Let's keep that in mind. Yeah.
And I missed the keynote and wasn't able to follow on Twitter. Could you just give those of us that missed it a quick summary of what was disconcerting?
Rainbows and unicorns. Rainbows and unicorns, right?
Yeah, you know, Audrey, she's always a ray of sunshine when she talks about ed tech.
It was pretty much a takedown, I think, of some of the sort of established ed tech ideas, and it was really weird because if you're in the community and if you're part of that group, then you know what's coming and you don't disagree with it. Right. But in the room there were a lot of people that were new to the community, so there's a lot of local people that have come in from local community colleges and things like that, and they sort of going, oh, so we're going to learn about Twitter and we're going to learn about, and all of a sudden Audrey comes up and goes, ed tech is dead to me. And it's like they're all sitting there going, why are we here again? So there were two groups. There was very much a sort of a group going, yeah, we know what's coming, and then there's a group going, why am I here? And it was really that sort of disconnect.
Huh. That's really interesting. I mean, it obviously could create a discomfort, but I mean, to me, it creates all this opportunity for people to express that discomfort.
Yeah,
is it a good tension?
Yeah.
Right. And I think it's important to ask those hard questions. And I think what Cindy's saying is that yes, that's important, but then afterward, let's do that. Let's ask those hard questions of each other. Let's do the small group so that we can process it.
Because one of the things that I saw in the conversation was, well, we're a Google school, and that's how we do our student work. What am I supposed to do with that, right? So the very sort of practical, okay, I understand the ideological problems with corporations in our ed tech, but I still have to do my job, right? So where to go from there? I think I found it an interesting choice to have the keynote at the end of the first day. I think it would have been interesting to have the themes that Audrey brought up shot through the first day from the beginning, right? So when you're having all of these conversations that you were having about connectedness and all of that sort of thing, you know, who's paying for that connection? Who's in charge of the data that you're connecting with people, to have that be something that was front-loaded rather than dropped on you at the end of the day?
No, I think I think you're wrong. I think that this is better. This whole thing. So we had a really positive day. We had a really great day. Cindy and I are in different tracks. So Cindy's doing
the digital literacy,
and I'm doing networks, and so we're in very different tracks, and we've all got these great things going on. Yep. And again, with the people that are new, they've all integrated. They're all coming and talking, and then all of a sudden, Audrey comes in and drops this idea in. It creates a liminal space for everybody to go away and think overnight. You know, if we'd have had that going on during the day, when everybody's starting to form the groups, everybody's been going, so how does this relate to what Audrey's talked about?
Right.
And so actually having this space overnight where people have gone away and thought about it, there's a chance to either reboot your head, come back in and say, no, okay, so I'm just going to engage in this way, or come back in and say, right, let's have an argument about this.
Cool.
So maybe can you explain how the track thing works for people who aren't familiar? I mean, are you locked into your track? How did you pick your tracks?
So we picked our tracks ahead of time without knowing schedules of them, which I would have liked to have known. I might have chosen differently. Maybe I didn't choose wisely enough. I don't know. There was a whole lot of track envy going on because of
It was like that at Cairo the whole 3 days. I'd be like, can I pop into the other track for a while?
Yeah, there you go. They're having more fun. They're doing
The grass
cool
is greener.
So you can't jump tracks, like there are track police?
Well, I guess you could.
You can at the very beginning, but after a while it becomes kind of disruptive because they're building community as well, right?
Right.
Not just...
And also, because Canadians are leading them, you really don't want to hurt their feelings.
And they're being done in the
They're so nice. Yeah, so one of them gave me their hat.
Yes, that is.
Okay, do the hat story.
That hat was born on you, Lawrie. Look at that.
Yeah. I think you need to take that home with you, Lawrie. I think it really, yeah.
That looks like the ones that Jim Groom wears.
Maybe.
Maybe.
But the track thing really works as well because we all come together at the breaks, and there's an awful lot of it's porous. The conversations just go on and on, whether you're in the track or not. So that's really good as well.
Yep.
And I don't think that the tracks are that different. Just it's an emphasis thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Although yesterday I did get accused on Twitter of being a Rhizome fanboy yesterday.
Really?
Wow.
That's a name call.
Yeah, let's just say Martin Weller's not in the room.
And Dave Cormier is, so.
Yeah. Well, does that mean that you were actually saying nice things about Dave's ideas? Because I don't get the impression that that's something you do very often.
Who does?
So when you're in the room, and I think one of the things about DigPed is, so this is something about DigPed. We all talk about all of these EdTech theories, and it's really nice that it's like, oh, let's talk about this and let's have this idea, and you put it out there, and it's all theory. And then when you're in the room, Jesse and Sean, they actually try and bring it to life in a pragmatic way. And that's something maybe we should take away from DigPed, is that if you're in the EdTech community, it's lovely to talk about these theories amongst yourself, but there are people in the room that from PEI, from community college, who are going, that's lovely. What does it mean? So what? And I think that's something that I'm picking up from DigPed. Less theory, more pragmatism.
Good point. Good point.
Oh, God, I got serious then.
Yeah.
We'll give you a few minutes to recover.
Well, Lawrie, you're giving a workshop yourself, right?
Right?
Can you tell us about that?
So in the UK, we've been doing an awful lot of work on digital literacies for many years, and we've just shifted our emphasis to digital capabilities of staff. So we're now saying, okay, so we've done a whole load of stuff, and we've done a whole load of thing on digital literacies. Let's do some work about the capabilities of staff. So I'm going to run a workshop today around what we do with leadership in digital and what we do with digital capabilities. So it's a really short workshop. I'm hoping that we'll be able to use some of the online tools that we've built in the UK. And I'm also going to do some mapping, which I developed with Donald Anklo, who's in the room, absolutely jumping up and down on her hands, trying to say, me, me, me. No, so we did some mapping around how you map organizational use of technology.
I'm not
Based
hearing...
on.
Oh, we can't talk about the Canadians.
Uh-oh, there's a secret.
They're kidding.
Yes. Oh, no! Fanboy. Where's your fanboy moment?
It's himself!
Hello!
The owner of the hat.
It's George C.
Yeah.
What's going on? What are you doing?
Hey, comment ça va, man?
Hey, ça va bien, là. Comment ça va aujourd'hui?
Well, yeah.
Where's that smooth skin, man?
I know, right?
It's weird.
Did you guys see the picture from my little girl?
Yeah.
Yeah, she doesn't like it.
Yeah, so when I arrived, she hugged me, but not him.
It's true.
Wow.
You carry that grudge. So I'm not hearing any conference fatigue there from the folks at PEI.
It's really, there's a lot of energy in the room. It's really exciting. You know, Bonnie's worked really hard on the whole thing, and you know, you only have to see how much she's moving around all the people to sort of make sure that she's like pushing it all the time. Mm-hmm. So there's an awful lot of energy in the room.
I noticed you said Bonnie's worked really hard.
Yeah, sure. Exactly.
Dave was taking care of the kids, maybe, while she did that.
Dave,
yeah,
he had to work on the intro for Audrey, right?
Which we didn't get to hear. That's another thing I would say for the people who are not in the room. When you do the keynotes, the chat beforehand, the introductions and everything, wasn't broadcast to the rest of us, and so we missed out. We were told you'll get to hear when Audrey starts speaking, which, you know, is fine, but then we just sort of made up stories about what Dave was saying.
Amazing introduction of Audrey.
We missed it.
Because virtual people have extreme FOMO. You don't want to miss anything. Like, it's barely okay that we're missing lunch.
Extreme FOMO.
Yeah. Which actually is the reason, Cindy, if you want to show how I'm dealing with my FOMO.
Right.
Wait a minute.
Is in the room.
Let me lock that up. What is that?
That is a laminated picture of my superhero avatar.
It's Flat Donna.
It's Flat Donna.
And Cindy was kind enough to...
It's clean. It's totally clean. See?
Yeah. It's wipeable, right? So you can take me out for oysters, you can take me out for cocktails, and there's no
I totally didn't use that as a coaster last night.
But at least I was there in some form.
Yeah.
We all felt you in the room.
I'm sure.
Yet another way to be present at a distance.
It's great to see you all, but I gotta go with the thing.
And just so we are at the 8, just so that you know, we're at the 8:20 mark, and things do start at 8:30. So we've only got about 10 minutes. We probably need to kind of wrap stuff up, but.
So you're gonna dump us.
And Daniel's here, so let's let Daniel say hi real quick.
Hey, Daniel.
Hi, Daniel.
Hey,
Hi, Daniel.
You want to buy a workshop?
Do you have a workshop?
I've got one. You got one you can use. Yeah. We've been trading workshops all day.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
What's it worth? What's it got?
It's as easy as that.
How many miles on that workshop?
Yeah, were you trading rounds last night, too? How are the workshops going to go?
Well, we had coffees last night. We had hot chocolate before we went. Yeah?
Yeah,
That's right.
Only hot chocolate.
Yeah.
That's why I tell her this morning. Too much hot chocolate.
That's what it is. Too much hot chocolate.
So what's on tap today? Where are you guys running off to and leaving us?
There's a general session.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a plenary.
Dave's doing the plenary.
Courtney's got the plenary in 10, and then there's like, I think, group work for an hour.
Yeah.
And then the workshops.
And then we come back for more.
And then there's more stuff in the afternoon.
Interact.
More goodness.
More
So we've
stuff.
got your workshops this morning,
My workshop's this morning at 10:45.
and I'm doing a workshop this afternoon after lunch.
I'm probably just going to borrow his workshop and then like see how it works out, and then you can double it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Second time.
Just take the hat. Take the hat.
Yeah. But it's been really good, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
I just wish it was bigger and there were more people in the room.
How many are there?
60?
54.
54. Yeah.
Well, I think it was 54 registered, but then if you count the, the organizers and that kind of thing, probably around 60.
And everybody's got a sore throat, and it's because everybody's talking to each other.
Right.
I like that they did this effort to have local people participate. Is that a standard thing with DigPed to open it up?
Usually it's been like that.
Yeah.
It's just cheaper for everybody, isn't it? Like they're right there. They don't have to pay for flights and accommodation and everything. And it's also, I think it would be really sad if people on site couldn't attend something like that. So.
Yeah.
It's an interesting model, actually. If you bring a conference to a university and you have a lot of people coming in first of all, to be with the conference. It gives credibility to the whole thing because people have come from a long way. And then you sort of move it out. It's a great model for staff development. You know, if your staff in your institution can see how much value you place on this international network, which is normally hidden, right? You don't normally see this. And all of a sudden, all these people, and they're all going, wow, people, you've come from England, you've come from South Carolina? It's like, yeah. And they're like, oh, this is serious. Yeah. And so it's a really good model. I think it's great.
Yeah, when I worked with New Media Consortium, I mean, the early conferences, one of the hallmarks was we would have it on a campus. You know, and then when it got too big that it moved, that it had to go to like a conference hotel or a different facility. Yeah, I think it lost something when it wasn't on the campus.
It's really great to have conversations with the K-12 educators who just aren't in this same sort of circle of conversations that we're all in all the time, and to give them just a little glimpse of the network that they can have is pretty important. We do that a lot at our place, and we have a couple of really great connections with ed tech people who serve like 12 schools, and they're one person. And how do you do that? How do you do that well? And so it's good stuff. Good conversations.
We're all going to South Carolina next.
Yeah. How are you?
Come to the Carolinas.
South is better.
South is better.
Well, it's the good Carolina now.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
We're not going to talk Brexit. We're not going to talk bathrooms, okay?
Okay.
Or let's talk about Brexit in the bathrooms.
Oh, right. There you go. Yeah.
I just think it's great to have all the different perspectives involved.
Yeah.
Not only from the different geographical areas, but from the different pedagogical areas and different levels. You know, K through 12, higher ed, adult ed, because there's always something you can learn. Pardon, Maha?
Sorry, Carol. I was just asking, have the people on site started realizing that a lot of the people on Twitter aren't with them in PEI? Because that's always a big one.
Yeah, Wendy, I thought you were going to be here.
There was one year I was at a conference and Jim Groom kept tweeting as if he was like telling the people like, I'm in room 3B, where are you guys? It was kind of like Twitter conference.
Gotta start doing that.
It was Twitter
Yeah,
conference
for sure.
and you can really mess with people. Yeah.
Well,
We have a guy on my Twitter stream, and I thought he was actually here.
Right.
There's a guy called Marcus Elliott, and he just keeps popping up in my Twitter stream, and I'm like, where is he? So it's like, yeah, I'm not sure if it's trolling or presence.
So, like, what room is your workshops in, and then they can like reference the room number.
Right. I attended a conference via Twitter and managed to get invited to drinks. After.
Yeah, really.
We're like, Donna, we're gonna be at this bar, and then
we're all surprised.
Yeah, shock. I know.
Almost.
I had to break it to them that I was in North Carolina, not London, and and they could go without me. They didn't need to wait around.
I think, Maha, to your question, wow, what I was going to say in that.
Room number.
No, she asked.
Needs more hot chocolate.
The hot chocolate. No, it's actually interesting because PEI is so small, and I think that because I lived here for 4.5 years, it's kind of a really slow process for people to realize what those networks look like, and so I think a lot of them. Oh wow, we're in the dark now. We're in the dark. We actually look better for the latest video. Everyone looks better.
Mood lighting.
So I think the people here are like the few islanders that I talked to yesterday they're kind of slowly getting it, but I mean, even for us, like you think back to when you first kind of started the open network, it takes a while to really conceptualize and kind of be part of that thing, right? Mm-hmm. It's kind of fun to see some of the, like I was in the workshop yesterday, Jesse was talking about a few different things, and I was talking to someone from here, and I think I saw that thing go, boom. Not the aha moment necessarily, but they were just kind of like, oh wow, like this person's from, I forget who it was, but someone from somewhere else was like jumping into Jesse's feed, and they're like, oh wow, you can do that? So, it's kind of happening slowly, but...
If you're curious, Daniel's workshop is on social network analysis. There you go.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was his way of doing a plug. Yeah. There you go.
He's like, now I know what I'm doing.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Are you guys gonna put up a new map of the Twitter feed, because you posted a map of what DigPed looked like online with all the little circles?
Yesterday, yep.
Oh yeah, that was great. That was me.
Is there? I remember that was Daniel. Are you gonna do another one?
That was the little me out in the corner.
Yeah.
So guys, our plenary is starting in 3 minutes. I just want to let folks
Oh,
know.
we're gonna make you late for class. Come on.
Keep your eye
following the rules.
Keep your eye on the feed, because there's going to be a lot of those maps happening. That's basically what I'm doing in my workshop.
I want the
T-shirt. I want the T-shirt
with the map on it.
No, almost have a map. Good idea.
Yeah, that's something.
Hey, thanks you guys so much for everything. Thanks for making up for us.
Bye.
Nice seeing you all.
Bye-bye now.
Thank you.
Bye, y'all.
Have fun.
See
It's
that?
a lot better when I say it.
Okay.
Thanks for waking up. Bye.
Bye, Autumn.
There they go. Well, that was fun.
Yeah, it was.
There was a lot of energy in that room.
I can't believe they're maintaining that energy level. I followed them on Twitter yesterday. They were non-stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you haven't been
Mark
to an
left.
event like that. It's not
That's
like
a
a
shame.
regular conference.
It kind of heartens me because I have a bad thing about conferences.
But you want to
I think-
virtually connect to them.
Well, it reminds me of I attended some of the digital humanities camps a few years ago, the unconferences, and the DigPed has a nice unconferencey feel to it. It feels like sort of the best stuff about the potential that you can get from programming a conference in thoughtful ways. You know, we'd like to talk about this, but then just sort of seeing what happens and bringing the spontaneity into the structure of the conference is something that I agree with you. Not enough people do, Alan. I think that large conferences in particular get this really like fossilized feel to them, and it's just like people standing up and droning, and the interactivity of DigPed and of that camp is something that's really nice.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, I want to go to conferences where you do things, not where you talk about doing things.
Yeah, I mean, the more that you can have those hallway conversations actually be the core part of the conference. I mean, there was a point in anthropology conferences where I stopped going to sessions because the important thing was the conversations that I was happening. So it feels like the conversations are the core. And I know, Maha, you've actually gone to these. Is that how it feels when you're there?
A little bit, yeah, because I mean, a lot of it is just breaking up the room into groups to talk about something or to do something, right? It's not Sean or Jesse or Bonnie or Amy just talking at the room. And so we're either doing something together, or we're discussing it in small groups, or we're discussing it in big groups. And like, you know, Jesse would have slides about something, and then he'd say, "Oh, you guys look interested in something else. Let's ignore the slides and focus on that because that's what you guys are interested in." And also, I mean, here in Cairo, I would get feedback from people after the first day, and we'd modify the second day based on their feedback on the first day, because we could do that, right? We were that flexible with it. And yeah, because I think the thing is that Jesse and Sean think about it as a teaching kind of thing, not as a presenting kind of thing. So it's about helping everybody learn together, and they learn as well. Like the facilitators learn too. It's not like they're teaching it's everybody's teaching everybody. And when you do it in a classroom of undergrads, it works really well. When you do it in a classroom of adult educators, it's phenomenal, I think. Yeah. And people learn from each other a lot more than from any one or two people.
Yeah. I will say, though, at the same time, like the first conference you go to, it's a pretty exciting experience, even in a traditional format, to meet colleagues and intermingle like that. And you're like, oh, I'm going to this session, I'm going to this session, and this session. But like Donna's saying, at some point it gets to be a lot less about the sessions.
Well, but that's a network thing, right? I mean, what happened with me in my discipline was that the reason that I was going, and this is a very sort of Cormier moment for me, right? It was less about the content and more about the connections, right? It was about who am I going to see, and what sort of context can we, what can we create out of the connection that we make when I get to see them? And I have utterly stopped caring about the content pieces. Like, I can get that some other place. If I'm going to be face to face with people, I want it to be about that connectivist moment and not about the consumption of content.
Which is exactly what virtually connecting is about.
Yeah.
If your conference live streams or not, or if your conference has a virtual site or not, we'll have these hallway conversations. And if I haven't attended the sessions, it doesn't really make a difference. I can still get to have an interesting conversation with people and open it up to a lot of people who even like watching these more than they would like watching. I mean, it's great to be in the conversation, but these are also more fun to watch than watching a live stream, I think. Even
I think it also helps to develop not only the connectivity, but also to encourage collaboration around not just the conference material, but just the fact that you have these conversations, find things that you want to explore together or that you want to share together and go further on. So that's what I've always enjoyed about any conference, even the structured conferences, which can get really, really draining of your energy after a while. And it's one of the reasons why I wanted to go to PEI, was to actually see people face to face, talk with them, laugh, carry on, drink, exchange ideas. And I'm really sad I couldn't make it.
I'm crying too. But I was just thinking though, like, you know, when I started going to conference, I mean, the difference of having a social media channel was like, you know, when you don't know too many people at the conference, when you haven't built that network, I found it a pretty isolating experience when I really didn't know people, and then there wasn't too many ways that, you know, you had to be like a cocktail party person or someone who could jump in and just meet strangers pretty easily. And but besides that, just having the conversational space to talk about things like, that session was terrible. You know, you couldn't say that to anybody.
I wrote about this. Go ahead.
Despite the fact that, especially with myself, I've been working online for many, many, many years and have really been comfortable working online, when you meet face-to-face, there's something else that happens, even if it's virtually as we are today. To see the face, to see the facial expressions, the body language, really helps to go along with your understanding of the other person.
Yeah. Well, what I told Maha, why I would get up at 4 a.m. to see Cindy, because in 2011 I did like this sabbatical where I drove around the country, and basically I went to visit people that I had known online, and Cindy I had known through like Twitter and blogs and through Gardner Campbell's work, but you know, I invited myself to stay in people's home, and so I remember this moment of sitting at Cindy's table in her house, and like just to be in someone's personal space, but to see the stuff that's important and to meet their family and their dogs, it just adds a really humongous dimension to this that carries forward, you know, to share those moments. So you know, I live for both those kinds.
I'm still trying to figure out why Cindy would think that I was at the conference, but I think, you know, who knows? It was obviously some communication that we'd had on Twitter, and so that's okay. Just it's good to be connected.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Well, I'm gonna have to go. I need to go interview some people for my day job. So thanks for inviting me to participate, and I'm glad we got to talk in the hallway for a little bit, and I'm assuming I will see you all on Twitter.
Excellent.
In some way or another.
Thanks for joining us, and hopefully you're a little bit bitten by the virtually connecting bug, and you'll be indoctrinated, and you'll be a raving addict like the rest of us.
I will be assimilated shortly, I'm sure.
Excellent, thanks.
I'm going to jump out as well. So
I have a quick
see you later, guys.
Question. And this is of Maha and Alan, I guess. Excuse me. When I used to do the Google Hangouts, it was very limited and very jerky. What has happened now to make this really viable, aside from Maha working on it?
You mean the way the Hangouts work, or the virtual?
Yes, the way they're working now. What is virtually connecting done to make them work as smoothly as they do?
They talked to Google. Maha went to Google and said, "Look."
Excellent.
It works. It's been working for 2 years now from home on a 1 megabit per second connection that actually has a much lower download speed. It has like 200 or something. It's supposed to be. I think Google Hangouts are just flexible with your bandwidth.
Okay, because I was just dropped out. I was only dropped out once.
Sorry?
And I used to be dropped out a lot.
Almost never happens. It happens to me more often with Skype, actually.
Uh-huh.
No, this is like an advertising session for Google Hangouts. But Google Hangouts tend to change a lot of things. They tweak a lot of things all the time. And so sometimes the tweaks, something falls off, like some of the functionality changes, but the connection and the audio and the video are excellent. They play with everything else, but they don't lose these two, I think.
Yeah. And definitely I mean, to me, the most subtle thing that works so well is the camera switching when someone's talking.
Yes.
Which does cause problems when people are coughing, etc. But sometimes you just forget, and it has more of that conversational feel than the systems where everybody's in a box.
Right, right.
Thanks, Wendy, for doing that. I always forget to do the chat.
Mm-hmm. Excellent.
In the chat, I asked a question, and Mark answered, but it's something that I already have. I'm wondering if the keynote from yesterday, if Audrey's keynote will ever be video, or at least audio, because it would be wonderful to hear her voice, given what I read and the slides that I saw.
I thought I would find the video where the live stream was supposed to be, but it wasn't. We can check with Jesse. I'm pretty sure they would record it somewhere. Maybe not in the same place it was live streamed.
Yeah, usually live stream does do an archive. I was thinking the same thing. Like, I had something to do at the time. It's like, oh, I'll just watch it later. It's like, oh, it's not there.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just going to read the text because we're meeting her tonight. Well, my night. So I need to know what
I usually read Audrey's stuff because she just documents it so well. But yeah, it's definitely worth hearing her talk.
Yeah. Well, again, it's that whole body language, and you can actually even hear it through the voice, even if you don't see the face. But the body language is really important.
It is, and she obviously prepares these ahead of time, but they never feel like she's reading them. And
right.
That's true, actually. Because I have heard her speak. It doesn't look like it. You're right.
I loved her slides. They were great.
I don't think I could do that. I don't think I could prepare something and sound like I was just talking.
I know. I'm in awe. Okay, I'm going to stop the broadcast because you guys are probably ready to go, and I'm going to go back to bed. So thanks for
breakfast.
And it's been another great virtual connecting session.
Thanks.